Welcome, everyone. So today, we'll continue where we left off yesterday. And I want to give thanks to Julie and Kevin, and other wonderful people who support these morning community gatherings from behind the scenes. And they tell me it's not too late to sort of change the name of this week's teaching to the Buddha's smile. And I'm going to double down on that today. I'll even show some images of the Buddha smiling in meditation. And it's interesting, for some time, I've noticed the Buddha smile in meditation. And I've wondered to myself, what's he smiling about? What does he know? What contentment is being experienced? And because in our practice and in these teachings that come down to us, things are never one-dimensional. I've also understood that these representations, and I'll show a few over the next few days. I mean, almost any Buddha you look at in meditation is smiling. I've also come to understand that this is an instruction. It's a meditation instruction to smile when we meditate, inwardly perhaps, or I should say outwardly perhaps, but inwardly most certainly. There's contentment to be found in the meditation. And as we explored yesterday, the pleasant of the meditation, the pleasure of the meditation can be leaned into, can be supported, can be cultivated as part of the path. And the Buddha's smile in meditation, I take to be an instruction that points that direction. So let's continue with that today. Today's the second knowledge that arises in the meditation that may give rise to this sort of smile in meditation, inward, possibly outward, is the following. This meditation practice is noble and onward leading, is the way I'm going to characterize it. So let's bring our attention inward. I like to think as I close the eyes, invitation to close the eyes, if that's a comfortable part of the meditation for you. I like to think of bringing the attention both inward and downward, sort of inward in a gesture towards seclusion, downward into the body to sort of, at least initially, bring our attention into the embodied aspect of the experience of meditation. The settledness of the body, the weight of the body, the slow pace of the body, the simplicity of the body's experience can be places where we can first rest our attention in a way that opens up to greater ease in the mind. And as we settle in today, maybe we can think about letting a smile play over our features. This can be internal or external, but it can be quite instructive, actually, to give a little smile to the features. If you ever do this in a mirror with your eyes open, you'll notice that frequently when we smile inwardly and we bring that smile to our features, it actually doesn't register on our features. Before we crack a wide grin, there's a very gentle uplifting in the features that for our meditation today can be an expression of any greater ease that comes with the meditation. So settling in with the breath, settling in with the body, settling in with the simple knowing of experience that's available in the meditation. We can bring our attention to greater ease. And the profound message of today's teaching is that as we do so, as ease in body and mind begin to arise in the meditation, we'll notice about the meditation that it's, in the words of the sutta from which I quoted, noble and onward leading. The meditation itself generates a knowing that the mind likes to be oriented toward freedom. We don't have to create anything, make anything up. In the meditation, a knowledge that arises all by itself, in the words of this sutta, arises inwardly as a beneficial side effect of the meditation itself, is a knowing that the mind wants to be free. And here too, we can lean into this wholesome wanting to be free as a way to deepen and strengthen our practice. We can do this in the meditation, and we have this wonderful technology of the meditation that goes like this. We're all familiar with this. Oh, who knows? Maybe one or two of us, not so much, but the mind gets entangled, it gets caught up in things, it tightens up around, oh, thoughts of the future, thoughts of the past, thoughts of other people, thoughts of ourselves. And in the meditation practice, when we notice this, when we wake up to this, we bring our attention back to center. We open back up if the mind's becoming tight to here, to now, just knowing what's going on without adding anything, without judging, just being here, just knowing this now. Every time this happens, far from being a source of frustration or agitation, this can be an opportunity to notice that with that return home, the return to center, the return to here now, we can touch base with the mind's desire to be free, this wholesome orientation toward free. This is what's meant in this second knowledge, touching in with this knowing that this meditation experience points towards freedom. So as we start to come to the end of this sit, let's reorient our attention again to what we might call the finer things. The way the meditation suggests that the mind wants to be free, and the way it, for that reason, brings our attention to subtler and subtler ways of meeting experience, ways of knowing, ways of being, ways of meeting our experience. The finer things of life, the meditation suggests, aren't things. And we can keep tuning into this direction that the meditation presents us with. An orientation toward peace, towards ease, towards a presence in our lives that's unmediated by projection and clinging. And this too, this orientation toward freedom, is something that we can bring with us into the world of interaction, the world of our daily round. Sort of keep it always in mind. Yesterday, talked about just meeting experience with some of that greater ease that the meditation provides. Today, we can also think about meeting the world with an orientation toward freedom that the meditation suggests. Who knows what that means when we meet a particular situation? That's to be discovered. Meditation provides a potential, a propensity, a momentum. So welcome back, or welcome if you're just joining now. As I said it, as we began the meditation, I want to keep going in this vein of exploring the Buddha's smile by way of bringing forward from the teachings and from the texts these 5 so-called knowledges or understandings that emerge in the meditation as a product of the deepening of the meditation without our having to exert effort, except the effort of paying attention to our experience of the meditation. And I promised that I would share some pictures of the Buddha's smile. This is an interesting book called Lost Kingdoms, Hindu Buddhist Sculpture of Early Southeast Asia. It was a period of time where there's sort of a combination of Buddhist and Hindu issues. images, imagery, iconography. But throughout here, from the little Buddha on the top of the big Buddha's head, you can see this lovely little smile that plays over the Buddha's features in meditation. And almost in every image of the Buddha in meditation in this book, you can see this. And I encourage you to seek out Buddha images. Trying to get this in focus and good light. Come on. Nonetheless, you can see the smile. And perhaps one more. I encourage you to look around. Oh, here's a couple lovely ones. There's a nice image of it, or this one. Look around and notice that Buddha images have frequently, not always, this subtle Mona Lisa smile. And I think it can be useful to and supportive of practice when we see that smile to sort of take it in. Maybe recall this 5-day session on the knowledges, the understandings, the knowings that come up in the meditation, and that maybe bring a smile forward internally, perhaps a smile that can be seen externally as well. And as I suggested at the outset, when we see those images, we can take it as instruction. That is, like all things in these teachings, there's multiple ways in which the iconography, the images, the texts can be read. And here too, we can take this smile that we see in the Buddha's face as instruction. Bring a smile into our meditation. This is, as I said yesterday, this meditation experience and the pleasantness of it is to be enjoyed. When we enjoy it, we cultivate it. We make it stronger. We enhance the propensity that we will move forward with that internal contentment and ease that's so useful when we meet the world. So the understanding that arises today, again, being creative with the translation. And again, I'm going to read sort of the whole thing. The Buddha says, cultivate the meditation practice. We could say, strive to the extent there's striving in this practice. Exert appropriate effort, I'm going to say, to deepen the meditation practice. And as one does so, 5 knowledges arise for us. The first one yesterday is that the pleasure in the meditation is to be cultivated, not to be feared, that it's part of the path. And today, that this meditation experience is noble, onward leading. The technical term, which I'm going to unpack in a moment, is that it's not of the flesh, that it's not of the world, we could say. I like to think of this maybe as an awareness that the mind seeks profound relief, profound ease, profound release. And as I've tried to bring our attention to in the guided meditation, being aware of this, noticing that knowing that comes up in the meditation is really useful in deepening our practice. The meditation suggests that the mind wants to be free. And when we notice that wholesome desire to be free, it strengthens it, makes it a momentum, creates direction in our practice. So in the teachings, this, what I'm sort of describing here as a something that happens over time, not a noun, but a verb, a creating of momentum, a an adjective or adverb instead of, again, a noun, on something in the meditation that's onward leading, that orients us toward freedom again and again. Each time we return to the breath, each time we return to a meditation object, there's an opportunity to notice that ease, the simplicity of experience, the pace, the slower pace of the body's experience in the meditation are hints that the practice of the meditation leads toward peace, and that there's a desire in the mind for peace. I'm realizing that yesterday I introduced possibly sort of radical notion that the pleasure of the meditation is to be cultivated. Not I, but the Buddha recommends this, but I've taken it deeply into my practice. Today, I find myself using language of desire, a wholesome desire. And this too is there in the teachings, that the wanting, the mind's seeking of freedom, we may feel come up as a wanting or a desire, and we can recognize, oh, this is a wholesome one. And sometimes when that happens, because we have this idea that desire and wanting are to be let go in the practice, it can be helpful to think of this orientation toward freedom as an aspiration in our practice. So I'll substitute that word, but it's okay to lean into that wholesome knowing that the mind wants to be free, that the mind can be free. So in the teachings, there is, and Gil draws attention to this in some of his teachings on the sort of the fundamental texts that teach us how and where to establish mindfulness. And many of you are familiar, I think, with the Satipatthana Sutta and the establishing of mindfulness. Sometimes we characterize the Satipatthana Sutta as the 4 foundations of mindfulness. I like to avoid nouns, so I'm going to say the establishing of mindfulness in 4 different arenas or spheres of experience. Throughout these teachings, there's this same distinction between things that are noble and onward leading and things that tie us more to the I think we could even say the physical aspects of experience. It's a turning from some of that concern with the world and our engagement and entanglement with the world and the things of the world, and an orientation more to the mind and to the knowing that is an effortless part of our experience. Sometimes this distinction, it's a tricky one, and I don't know how frequently Gil does this, but I'm gonna mention the Pali terms samisa and niramisa, because they're frequently translated in ways that are can be challenging. Sometimes this contrast is presented as one between of the flesh and not of the flesh. Other times, worldly and unworldly. Gil has sometimes talked about the distinction between body and mind, or between objective and subjective, as we refine our establishing of mindfulness. And in each of the mindfulness practices, there's this movement from entanglement with the world to a free knowing of the phenomena of experience. A movement from entanglement with objects, with the signs things in the world, the appearances of things, toward the knowing of experience. And in the meditation, we have this opportunity to rest in this knowing, to return again and again to the here and now of experience. And notice that the mind can, with repeated returning, the mind can become increasingly comfortable resting at ease in the sort of flow of experience without grasping, without entanglement, without projection. And as we notice that, we develop a momentum, and we receive from the meditation, this orientation toward freedom, sort of natural urge. And as I said a moment ago, aspiration toward being more free, more awake in the world. And as I speak of these things, and with some awareness that they may seem esoteric or abstract, I want to return to the very visceral knowing that emerges in the meditation, and that even now, as I speak about these things, brings a smile to my features. This smile, which I'm using as a theme for the week, not this one particularly, but the Buddha's smile, the smile that comes in the meditation when we talk about, when we recognize, when we rest in, when we acknowledge, when we become aware of the desire of the mind to be free, is something that can bring great joy to our practice and to our lives. And because I neglected to at the end of the meditation, I'll take this opportunity to dedicate the merit of our practice today in this way, to feel in the meditation these knowledges arising all by themselves. We just pay attention. We bring our attention again and again back to the here and now. And as we do so, over time, we get rid of the frustration. It's like, oh, dang, I lost track of the breath, or whatever. We just notice that here's an opportunity when we return to here and now. It feels good, as we said yesterday. It feels good to be here. And it points onward. And maybe we can bring some of that momentum forward, momentum toward freedom, into our actions and interactions today in a way that benefits others. So this is a sweet thing for ourselves, generates maybe an internal smile. And it benefits others to smile, inwardly or outwardly, but to bring that momentum toward freedom into our actions and interactions. Freedom is possible. Meditation makes that clear. Freedom is a direction the mind, if we allow it to, if we encourage it to, if we provide the conditions for that. And that momentum can be shared with others. So in closing, let's bring a smile to the practice. When you see Buddhas today, tomorrow, this week, going forward, notice that smile, take it as an instruction, bring it into your practice, and then share it with the idea that it benefits not just ourselves, but all beings. May all beings know this contentment. May all beings find this path to freedom. May all beings know happiness, be free of suffering, be free. So thank you very much. Looking forward to tomorrow already, where we'll continue exploring the Buddha smile. Thank you.